Long ago, in a small African village called Umuwaka, there lived a young girl named Amaka. She was only 17, yet life had already shown her more pain than many people twice her age. Amaka was an orphan. Her father died when she was a child, and her mother followed not long after. After that, she went to live with her mother's sister, Mama Uju, a woman whose face looked kind in public, but whose heart was as hard as unripe mango. Every morning before the cock crowed, Amaka would fetch water from the stream, sweep the yard, wash clothes, cook, and still get shouted at. "Lazy girl! You think food falls from heaven?" Mama Uju would bark, even when Amaka had done all the work. Still, Amaka never talked back. She believed that patience was the last gift her mother had left her. One night, as the wind blew softly through the cracks of their small hut, Amaka sat by the fire, fanning a pot of yam. Her aunt sat in the corner, counting a small pile of money, whispering under her breath. After a while, she said, without looking up, "Tomorrow you will become a wife." Amaka froze. "A wife? To who?" she asked, her voice shaking. "To Chief Okonkwo. He has sent gifts. You should be grateful. That man can feed a whole village." Amaka dropped the fan. "Auntie, Chief Okonkwo is old enough to be my father. I don't love him." Mama Uju's eyes turned sharp. "Love? Does love cook food? Does love pay debts? You will marry him, and that is final." Amaka's hands trembled. She looked at the weak lamp flickering on the wall and whispered to herself, "God, please don't forget me." The next morning, news spread through the village like fire through dry grass. Everyone talked about it. The orphan girl was marrying the rich chief. Some said, she's lucky, from poverty to plenty." Others whispered, "But he's old enough to be her father." An old woman selling vegetables shook her head slowly. "A child is not a roof you sell to cover your shame," she muttered. But in Umuwaka, people feared money more than they feared injustice, so they all kept quiet. That evening, when the sun sank behind the hills, Mama Uju sat alone, crying softly. Her son, Kenechuku, had borrowed money from dangerous men in the city. They had come to collect. Chief Okonkwo's messenger had visited the night before. He placed a brown envelope on her table and said, "The chief will pay your son's debt if you give him the girl." Mama Uju cried and cried, but in the end, she took the money. She told herself, "Better my niece suffers than my son dies." But deep down, she knew she had sold her soul that night. The day before the wedding, Amaka went to the river to wash her face and clear her thoughts. The water was calm, reflecting the evening sky like glass. She knelt down and whispered, "Mother, if you can hear me, show me what to do." Just then, a small calabash floated toward her. Inside it was a red cloth and a folded paper. When she opened it, the words were simple but strong. "Speak the truth, even when elders are afraid." She looked up, and, across the river, stood an old woman dressed in red, her hair white as cotton. The woman nodded once and then disappeared among the trees. Amaka's heart beat fast. She didn't understand who the woman was, but somehow she knew the river had spoken. The next morning, the drums began early. Women sang, children danced, and the whole village gathered to watch the wedding of the rich chief and the poor orphan. Chief Okonkwo stood proudly in his white robe, smiling like a king. Amaka, dressed in borrowed lace, stood beside him with empty eyes. The elders began the ceremony. "Let us bless this union," one said. But before he could continue, Amaka took a deep breath. Her voice shook at first, then grew firm. "Elders, I cannot marry this man." The crowd gasped. "My aunt sold me to pay her son's debt," she cried, tears running down her face. Everyone was silent. Mama Uju tried to grab her hand, shouting, "Amaka, stop this madness!" But the truth had already left her mouth, and once truth is spoken, it cannot be swallowed again. The chief's smile disappeared, the drum stopped, and everyone waited. The elders took the matter to the big iroko tree in the village square. There they sat in a circle, Amaka on one side, Chief Okonkwo on the other, and Mama Uju in the middle shaking like a leaf. The elder, Okafor, spoke softly. "Mama Uju, is this true?" She tried to talk, but her voice broke. "Yes," she flannelly whispered. "I did it. My son owed men money. They threatened to kill him. I had no choice." Chief Okonkwo stood up. "I only wanted a wife. I did nothing wrong." Elder Okafwa raised his staff. "Chief, you have wives older than her. A girl's poverty is not an invitation to your comfort. A wife is not a goat you buy with coins." The villagers began to murmur. Kenechuku, Mama Uju's son, ran forward and fell to his knees. "Amaka," he cried, "I'm sorry. It's my fault. I caused this." Amaka touched his shoulder gently. "I forgive you. But remember, no one's peace should be built on another person's tears." That night, the village gathered again under the moonlight. The old woman in red appeared with a gourd of water from the river. She said, "Let those who lied drink. The water will reveal the truth." Chief Okonkwo laughed. "Nonsense!" But he drank first and spat it out, shouting, "Bitter!" Mama Uju drank next. Tears fell down her cheeks. "It's bitter," she whispered. Then Amaka took the gourd, lifted it to her lips, and drank. Her face softened. "It's sweet," she said quietly. The crowd gasped. The drums began to beat again. Elder Okafor lifted his staff. "The river has spoken. The marriage is canceled. The girl is free." The people cheered. Some cried. Even the moon seemed to smile that night. Days later, Amaka went back to the river. There, sitting on a stone, was the same old woman in red. "Thank you," Amaka said. "You helped me." The old woman smiled. "No, child, you helped yourself. You spoke when others stayed silent. The river only gives courage. You used it." Amaka nodded. "I want to help other girls like me." "Then the river will walk with you." From that day, Amaka began to teach children under the big mango tree. First just a few, then many more. She taught them to read, to write, and to believe in their own voices. Months passed, and Amaka built a small school near the river. She named it My Own House. On its wall, she wrote, "A child is not a price to be paid." People from far and near came to see it. One day, even Chief Okonkwo came. He looked much older and tired, his proud shoulders now bent. "I came to say sorry," he said. "I was wrong. I used my power to take what was not mine." Amaka looked silently at him. "I want to donate land for your school. Let me do one good thing before I die." Amaka nodded slowly. "Do good, Chief. It is never too late to plant a new tree." The school grew. Children's laughter filled the air every morning. Mama Uju helped cook for them every day. Sometimes she would tell the children her story. She would say, "I once sold my niece. I thought I was saving my son, but I was losing myself. Never do evil thinking it will bring peace." And the children would listen and sing their special song for Amaka. "Don't sell a girl for rice and goat. Her tears will sink your boat. A child is not a debt to pay. Her heart deserves a brighter day." Whenever Amaka heard them sing, her eyes filled with quiet joy. Every evening, when the sun turned gold and the birds began to fly home, Amaka would walk to the river. She would kneel by the same stone where it all began and whisper, "Mother, I kept my promise. I spoke the truth." The water would ripple softly, as if the river was answering, "Well done, my daughter." And so the girl who was once forced into a marriage became the voice of freedom for many. Her story spread from village to village, reminding everyone that silence helps evil grow, but one brave voice can change everything. A child is not a price to be paid. Money can buy silence, but it cannot buy peace. Speak the truth, even when it shakes the world. And remember, when one person stands for what is right, it gives others the courage to do the same.